today. He did it in the form of a poem to his friend. It's called Friendly Pain. A good friend, yes, an exceptional friend. Someone to talk to, laugh with, confide in. His smile, what a great smile. Grade school, junior high school, the best times of your life. Most say, so far they're right. Lucky I was to have such a great friend. So many smiles and the laughter. The plans we made him to college, I stayed home. When we can, we'll get together, drink some beer, laugh, smile, and offer honest advice. Now we can't, for he fell asleep behind the wheel. Oh, the pain, my stomach like a burning flame, it can't be true. We never said goodbye. The plans like sandcastles on the beach washed away. And oh, how I miss my buddy, on my mind like a good tune. I still think of the good times, I always will. The plans, well, they've fallen apart, and I've made new with new friends that smile and laugh. It's never the same. It never will be. The friendship we had was special, like ice cream on a hot summer day, and we never said goodbye. If in your travels you run across a boy by the name of Mike Sievers, know that he's in pain. Find your way and let him know that he's cared for and supported. I wish for every one of you in this room who has lost someone in their lives, I wish that I could bring back that person, just like I wish I could bring back Pat for 5 minutes, so that some of you can say the things you needed to say to that person. But obviously I can't. The next best thing I can do is to give you the gift of what I'm giving you here today, which is to tell the people in this school, in your life, in your home, that you care about them. Because once you're able to do that, no matter what happens between all of you, there's a real sense of closure about it. A real sense of closure. There was a wonderful teacher that said to me, every time her son leaves the house, she doesn't say goodbye to him. She says, I love you. She says, I love you. And I don't want any of you in the room to walk out the least bit unclear about what this is all about. We've mentioned it on half a dozen different occasions this morning. But I have to say to all of you, this assembly is not about death. It's not about death. It's about time. The time that all of us in the room, we're not quite clear how much we have. It's the time to put the priority of friends and family first. It's the time to look around you in the school and see who you're tearing down and figure out that it's not working, that it's just destroying. I spoke in Salt Lake City and a young girl got up to the mic. She was beautiful, just beautiful. And the entire left side of her face has been scarred from an automobile accident. And she came up to the mic and she said to everybody in the school, she said, I used to think I was better than any of you guys. I had my choice of guys, ran with the best crowd. I used to look down at all of you. She said, now I went through the windshield of my car, pointed to her face, she said, it's 5 operations, these are permanent scars. She said, now I walk down the halls and you guys look away. She said, all of a sudden I realized what it's like to be at the other end of those put downs. And I put my arm around her and silently in my head I said, how tragic that it took an automobile accident, 5 operations, permanent scars on her face for her to realize that put-downs can hurt and put-downs can kill. If you cannot build someone up in this school, walk away from them, but at least don't tear them down. Because as what Matt said, what goes around comes around. If you don't buy it now, just wait. Just wait. There'll come a point in your life when you will need someone so badly, And there'll be nobody there for you because you just slammed so many people. You guys have a chance in this school. I can't say that in a week or two. I'm speaking at schools of 4,000 and 5,000 next week. You guys have a chance here, but you can destroy each other or build each other up. Again, I can't make that choice for you. I've spent my whole life like this, wanting this. Too scared. Too scared. Where's Jeff Stewart? Jeff here?
Good morning. My name is Jeff Stewart. I see quite a few familiar faces. I coach basketball here. I'm also a married man, 2 grown kids, actually young men. I've been working with young people your age and younger for about 15 years now. Anywhere from cushy suburban homes to kids that are...
You guys have lived under some media attention in the last month. You're a phenomenal school. You've lived under some problems and some difficulties. For heaven's sakes, don't let it beat you. You're no different than any other school. The tensions, the problems, the difficulties I see in every place in the country. Don't let this beat you. Stand up with a certain amount of pride in this school and show them what's possible. What's possible to happen. Don't knuckle under to some of the problems that exist in every school. Build a family here. Watch out for one another. Don't destroy each other. 20 years ago, I got an opportunity to go on the road when the Beatles first made their national tour. I was a photographer. And I was in Chicago, and John Lennon had put a full-page ad in the Chicago Tribune asking to meet with 75 aspiring songwriters in the hope that the Beatles would find a new song, take it to the top of the charts, and make that person famous. In an auditorium on Northwestern University's campus, 75 people gathered, 5,000 had applied. Lennon, who was probably the softest spoken man, came out of the side curtain, barely above a whisper. He said to everybody in the school, he said, "I am no more talented than any of you." Nobody heard him. I looked over and whispered to the person next to me, "What did he say?" I noticed everybody was doing the same thing. Nobody had heard a word he said. Lennon came back up, said to everybody in the room in the loudest voice possible, he said, "I'm no more talented than any of you." Sure enough, a guy in the back raised his hand, said, "Hey, John, how can you tell us we are nobodies? The world's singing your music, your concerts are standing room only, you're making a ton of money. How can you tell us we're nobodies?" He said, "The only difference between myself and you is if I've got a song inside, if I've got a dream in my gut, I can have somebody write it, somebody promote it, somebody play it, and hopefully somebody buy it. Every one of you in this room has something special to offer. But it doesn't mean anything if all the people in your life get together to tell you how great you are. If you guys don't buy it inside, it's my hope that one of you, just one of you, and I've had this hundreds of times because I live locally, see me in a mall someplace, in an airport, come up and tap me on the shoulder, say, "Hey Jim, I heard you speak 5, 10, 15 years ago. I want you to know I'm going after my dreams, feeling great about myself, and most of all, I'm giving to a whole lot of people in my life. and I'll walk away with an incredible smile on my face. Every one of you in this room can make something happen in your lives. And none of you ever has to go it alone. None of you. I really love you guys. Thank you so much today for touching my heart. That Jeff, being close to the school, needed to be able to say something. I wanted, first of all, whose dollar did I take? Yeah. Lunch money comes hard. There are scraps of the dollar on the floor, and I've got some more in my pocket. I've been doing this a long time. For any of you in the room who wants to, I'll tear off a part of the dollar. Long after you forget about me or you forget about this program, if you're in your room one night, feeling alone and saying nothing's working, pull out that part of the dollar as Matt did 8 years later and realize you're phenomenally blessed by caring people here. Give them a big round of support. They really deserve it.
Also, you get to know an awful lot of students, and we've said for years, Northville High School got to be one of the finest student bodies. Yeah, we got a nice building, but the kids really make up this school. They've been fantastic to me. I've had a blessing to work with these young people. We've had tough times, we've come through tough times. We work hard together. And thanks a million for being with me all these years. It's been great honor.
You'll see that. Did you find your way over to Matt? Because I think he really needs to, all right? And I need to talk to you later, okay?
Okay.
What is your name?
Jane.
Jan what?
Jane Eskra.
How would you spell that?
ESKRA.
What year are you?
95.
You were touched.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just get a message.
Yeah. I just really related to a lot of things he said, and it really made me think about some things, and go home and tell my parents I love them really a lot.
You know, there's been a lot of things that went on at the high school that were dividing it. Do you think that this helped the school? Do you think it'll help bring you back together?
Yeah, I do. I think it touched a lot of people today.
Do you feel any different about the people that you go to school with?
Yeah.
How?
Well, I kind of like the racism and stuff. I mean, I was never a part of it, and I think I'm going to try to help people get back together and stuff, because I know a lot of people were divided by it. So.
Good step?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Brad Traub.
How do you spell your last name?
Traub.
What did you think of the Did you get something out of this message?
I don't know. Not really. I thought he was really inspirational, but just things that I've already learned to deal with. So, but he's a very inspirational speaker. So anything that I had learned was really reinforced, I think.
You know, I know that the school has had a lot of troubles, racial problems and all that. Do you think this will help healing?
Yeah, I think so. I don't really think our school has a lot of problems, so.
Didn't you have an incident recently in which things kind of got out of hand over a slapping incident?
Yeah, we did, but things like that are going to happen everywhere, and it's just because we have a majority of white students compared to a lesser majority of black students. So any way you look at it, people are just looking for, I think, maybe excuses to say that this school has racial problems. I think that a lot of us get along very well.
You think this is going to help get over all that bad the tension?
I think so. I think so a lot. I think it'll help a lot. Thank you.
I think you got everyone.
Yeah. All set? What's your name?
Christine Werda.
Would you spell with K?
Yeah.
Christine, and how do you spell your last name?
WERDA.
What year are you?
I'm a senior this year.
You got a message here today?
Oh, I was touched today, because I've heard him talk before in California, because where I used to go to school at. And,
Would you say that, well, I know there's been some problems, some racial tension here at the school. Do you think this is a step toward healing?
Yeah, I think a lot of people didn't realize what they were doing, and because I think now it's calmed down a little bit since the meeting started, and maybe it'll solve. I don't know. Maybe there's a solution.
You think that this is a healing step?
Yeah.
Getting in touch with your feelings?
Yeah.
Let me swing over here. What is your name?
Anna Malusa.
And how do you spell Anna?
A-N-A.
Okay. And your last name?
M-A-L-U-S-C-E.
Do you think that with the problems in the past that this is a good healing step? Do you think this was an important thing to do today as a school?
Yeah, I think this is very important because I'm from Yugoslavia and I come here. I moved here, and it was really difficult because I didn't have any friends here. And Kristen, she and her sister was the first girls who called me, heavily called me on the telephone. I was going through a very difficult time here. It's real different here. It's people are not together like in Europe, and it's, I don't know, I'm just feeling so lonely sometimes here. Everything is about cars, about going out with somebody who is rich, and everybody care about their own reputation. It's not like in my country. We don't have a car, and that's why we're not care so much about this material stuff.
So maybe they needed to hear this today.
Yeah, this is really good.
Thank you. That was very good.
Okay.
What is your name?
Shannon Chase. Shannon Chase.
How do you spell bone?
C-H-A-N-A-N Chase. C-H-A-S-E.
Tell me about the message.
Jim was great.
I mean, there's so many things today that touched so many hearts. I mean, you look around, everyone's crying, and it wasn't like your ordinary assembly where, you know, you sit there and you're like, oh, it was so touching. I mean, everybody cried. The two guys who came up there today were just, I mean, it just touched your heart. Whatever they said, it was just, and you think about it, and it's so sad because we're so young, and you don't know how long you have. You know, you have to live every minute to the fullest that you possibly can. You know, we're all seniors. I mean, it was,
Gotcha.
yeah.
You know, I know that they've had some problems here at the school, some racial tension, I guess. Do you think this is a healing step? Do you think this was a good thing that he came in and got people in touch with their feelings?
Yeah, I do, because the first meeting let us all talk, let him know what was going on. I mean, racial problems are so terrible to a school. You know, it can get bigger or it can get better. And I hope with the steps he's taking, it's going to get better. It's not like it's bad, but I think anything that he's doing is going to work out.
You think it's opening people up? Is that what it's about?
Definitely. It's opening people's minds. I mean, every day, you know, you walk around here and everyone wants to be close. Everyone wants to become like a school, you know, all together. So it's definitely opening people's minds.
Very good. You get the award of the day. That was great. There were hugs and tears and possibly tears and healing at a local high school. I'm Nancy McCauley with that story coming up.
Okay.
What's your name?
Leslie Perkins.
And it's P-R-K-I-N-S.
Yes.
L-E-S-L-I. And your name? L-E-Y. Okay. And your
Brian McJenkin. Brian, B-R-I-A-N-N-E.
Jenkins?
McJenkin. M-C-J-E-N-K-I-N.
There have been some problems in the school. I guess you had an incident and some racial tension. How do you think this is all going to fit into what happened today?
I don't know. I think a lot of people listen, but I think some people, like the younger speaker said, that they heckled them too. I sat in between a lot of people that heckled them, but I don't know how they're going to take it. They're basically, a lot of them are the problem in the school, and I just hope they listen.
What do you think about it? This is a step toward healing. What do you think has happened to fix this?
We need to hear more stories, I think.
The stories are what makes people listen, because it was around their age, and they have experience, and they're telling us about their personal experience.
Do you think things will be different now?
Maybe. I think in the long run it will. Not right away, but in the long run.
Yeah. Good first step.
Yeah, a good one.
You guys did great.
Go ahead.
You've lived under some problems and some difficulties. For heaven's sakes, don't let it beat you.
He's referring to an incident in October, an argument at Northville High School in which racial tensions flared. But motivational speaker Jim Tuman's message today was simple. It's time to heal.
Don't knuckle under to some of the problems that exist in every school. Build a family here. Watch out for one another. Don't destroy each other.
Through personal stories, Jim opened his life and hopefully young minds. Tears flowed as students were touched and reached out to Jim and each other.
Racial problems are so terrible to a school. You know, it can get bigger or it can get better. And I hope with the steps he's taking, it's going to get better.
I think I'm going to try to help people get back together and stuff, because I know a lot of people were divided by it. So
It's a good step.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't realize what they were doing, and because I think now it's calmed down a little bit since the meeting started.
Jim gave many of the students pieces of a $1 bill. He said for them to keep it and remember that they are never alone. He says it's a first step toward healing.
Think things will be different now?
Maybe. I think
in the long run it will. Not right away, but in the long run.
Yeah. It's a good first step.
Yeah, a good one.
In Northville, Nancy McCauley, TV2, First News.